Look at P. Moses with me all the way in Cali, man. But I wanted to do a video of the part of my video that I didn't get to. I didn't start recording till after the fact. When you speaking, you just be focused on, what's going on. But I wanted to, it'll be 2 parts plus the long version of what I did catch while I was up there. So question number 1, and I think it kind of was in my intro, so he didn't ask this question, but tell us how you got started lifting up your voice and involved in people with lived experience work in your connection to the Nashville Homeless Service System, right? And so actually, as far as lived experience goes, actually, I really think a lot of us wrote into the U.S. Intricacy Council after I think I attended the last National Alliance to End Homelessness Conference. Then, or I'm not sure how I got in contact with them, but I do know we did all write into them. And it sparked that word, lived experience, because we were like, we are living the experience, and it was not a popular trend then when we wrote into them about lived experience, and it seems like it exploded after that as an industry. It's an entire industry that is not brand spanking new. It existed, but it was invisible work at first, right? And so I started advocating as my husband was reentering society, returning citizen. He never should have been in there in the first place. He was basically railroaded because he was taking care of us from a semi-truck that tried to run us off the road. As an equalizer, he used his firearm to try to protect us. No one ever asked us that story. I appealed. I had a Section 8 voucher. 3 days, it was gone. We were homeless. No questions asked. No explanation taken. We were ignored. We were homeless. Thankfully, we had family to stay with. Unfortunately, my husband was on the way to jail. And we called the police first. So how does that work? But anyway, railroaded. So by the time he got ready to get home, I was in Parker Hillside. I was being a single mother for the first time in life ever. Because he's always been there with our children, and that's something also that's an issue, which is child support for our own children. We don't have any outside children that we deal with, any other baby mamas or anything like that, but for our very own children, we have dealt over 20 years with child support. That has also been a reason that has caused us to be homeless as well. It's not your stereotypical ways of thinking about becoming homeless across the board with everybody. So you just can't stereotype and say, oh, they didn't pay their rent. That's not always why people are evicted or left without a home. Also, let me say, I already talked about us being evicted. My apartment complex, unbeknownst to every last resident there, we started to see each other's belongings being put in a dumpster. I'm like, I've never seen an eviction like that where they throw your things in the dumpster intentionally. I remember being a teenager and they used to try to break your stuff on purpose. They broke one of my grandmother's bed that she gave me. It was an antique, and you can't find that nowhere else. And they purposely broke that bed. They don't know how much that bed meant to me. My grandmother had given it to me, and we got evicted. I didn't even know what was happening. I came home from school, and that was, that. So since all of this and being gentrified, I spoke out at a town hall, a council meeting. I knew a council person was going to be there. I did not know that you could utilize your council person, and that's when I kind of found that out inadvertently. That you could tap your council people in. You are their constituents, and I always vote. So I kind of got a little bit of help there, and I was discovered. I don't want to talk about that, but I was discovered at that meeting. I already was doing my own thing with my own nonprofit, and some people that describe themselves as not white saviors were white saviors. They came in, and y'all get the raw version of this. I wouldn't have been able to say that kind of on the panel, keeping it, professional, whatever. But that's exactly what happened. I was discovered as a token, and I didn't know what was going on with that. And finally, I figured it out and broke away from that. I ended up being kind of blackballed in the system. Thankfully, that's becoming to be not an issue anymore, because I had to fight to, be seen beyond what those people are telling other people, and they just run with it and believe it versus get with me to ask or figure me out first for themselves. So that's why I speak on the lived experience and saying, get to know a person and their authenticity. Every person is different for a reason. You'll hear me say that in the actual panel when it was recording, if it was still recording at that point. But yeah, each person is different on purpose, literally. So, but I've been traveling and speaking to prevent what happened to us from happening to other families throughout the city, and poverty and homelessness since 2016. Is when I got started. So another question Mr. Albert asked, I'm going to come back and do another part for that. That way it's not so long.